Good evening. This is Lora Hodges. I am the owner and coach of True Voice Studio, and I just want to thank you guys for joining me. We are talking tonight on our live about getting those high notes. We're going to also answer questions. If you guys have any questions, please post them while I'm here. Be sure to shout out during this live session. It doesn't matter if you're on YouTube or if you're watching on Facebook, would you please just throw your name in there and let me know your first name. Just put your first name and then whatever your comment or your question is at first so that I know. And if you would like to be able to see your name and be seen live as a participant here, then if you would put in, there is a link above this live that if you give permission, when you make a comment, it's eCam, I think it's like eCam, going live with eCam or something. Anyway, if you give permission, then all that does, it doesn't put your private information out. All it does is allow for me to see who you are when you're commenting. And then when I pull you in the comments, then everybody who's watching the live benefits from seeing who's on, who's posting. So if you would like to have your name visible as far as a participant here in the live tonight, just let me know. So if you have questions, I want to encourage you, throw them in the comments. Tonight, I wanted to go over just a couple of tips on reaching high notes. There are a lot of ways and a lot of things involved with reaching high notes, but the first thing that I can give you, the most valuable tool I can give you, very first off, is when you start to sing up into your head voice and you start making that transition into, when it starts, back off your volume. You see what I'm doing? So I waver between that G sharp and that high A, and that just backing off your volume is going to be one of the very first things that you could do. So the next thing I'm going to tell you, which I have reiterated so many times, is be sure that you warm up your voice. If you know you're going to be singing in your head voice and you got to sing some high notes, you make sure that you're doing an adequate warm-up. Make sure that you're doing sufficient warm-ups. That way you can hit those high notes. Remember, the warm-up serves more than just, it's not just like, okay, well, I got to get in there and just make a few noises and then we're ready to go. The warm-up preps the voice. It really lays a foundation for how you're going to sing. If you know you have to sing high notes and you don't really warm up your voice and you get on stage and you demand of your voice some really super high notes, especially if you're singing more than one song, you are going to find you will not have as great of ease or vocal control or that the stamina just to get in there. The longer you warm up, the way you warm up is going to ensure longevity, not just for your voice as a whole, but it's going to also ensure that you are giving your voice what it needs to perform at its peak. So think of that warm up. It's just it's prepping the voice. It's getting everything warm. It's getting it flexible. So if you want, we can go over, if you are on live and you'd like to do just a few little warm ups, we can do that, and we'll warm up some high notes tonight. How's that sound? So we are going to not do a full vocal warm-up, but I'll just we're going to start out with humming. We're just going to hum. So when you're humming, think of just that, humming. But when you're humming, don't give it that airy sound. Don't go, That's overly breathy. You want to just, like you're thinking, you're contemplating something. Just do that a few times. In your comfortable volume, comfortable speaking voice. Do it a few more times. Do it again. You're just humming around. So the next clue, the next tip. So we've talked about backing off of we've talked about being sure that you warm your voice. We've talked about being a little bit lighter when you're singing those high notes. So in other words, if you're trying to sing a high note and you're really pulling and stretching, if it feels like, okay, or it feels really awful, like there's a point in your voice, so you're switching from chest voice, and all of a sudden your voice feels like it flipped, or it just is pulling like crazy, or it just dropped out and disappeared, then be sure, start over, back off your volume and start over again. You see how you can go super high, actually quite easy. Everybody's voice is capable of some pretty high notes. If you back off, don't put so much muscle into it. Remember, the weight that you bring into the whatever you start with, the weight, in other words, the volume you start with when you're singing, especially if you are ascending into a higher note, the higher you have to go, you're taking that same weight up. So think of the weight, and your louder volume is a bag of rocks in a backpack. You're mountain climbing, okay? And you're going to climb a really a hill with a really steep incline, and you've got 25 pounds of rocks in your backpack. You've got to take that weight, and the higher and the steeper you go, that gets heavier really fast. It's the same concept with the voice. With your voice, the more volume and the more torque you put on it in the beginning is the same amount of torque that you have to try to maintain that. And there comes a point, especially if your voice is not, your mix and your bridges are not really coordinated well, or you're not warmed up, or you're missing something vocally in their voice. It's going to pull, and you're going to find your voice flipping, or you're going to find it pulling, or just completely pooping out. Now, the third option there is sometimes our voice will give us what we're demanding of it, but it'll only do it for a little bit. And then afterwards, you're talking like this because your voice is swollen. You have swelled up your vocal cords and you don't even know it, okay? So if you have any questions, I do see I've got some people online. Give me a shout out, would you? And let me know where you're watching from. I totally love it. Be sure, if you are watching on YouTube and or Facebook, would you do me the biggest favor and give me a thumbs up? Would you like this video, this live stream? That would be so awesome. It'll help get the word out to everybody else. As you all know, when you're first starting a business, and online, especially these days, there's lots and lots of traffic on there, and it just helps give that algorithm a little bit of a nudge. I'd really appreciate that. So let's look and see what we've got as far as questions. I don't know who I have on here. Let me see. Okay, I don't see any questions yet. So we just spoke very briefly, gave you a couple of tips on singing the high notes. Okay, so the first thing is, when we get on these lives, what I want you to do, remember, this is valuable information. This is worth something. Don't just watch the video and then just get off, especially if you're really thinking about developing your voice and you're really a serious singer. You don't want to just watch it for entertainment value alone. Get you a vocal journal, get you anything. It can be this, it can be, hang on, I don't know if I've got something here. Hang on just a minute. Let me see if I can find this. I don't want to pull off half the thing. Okay, so I've got these composition. These are awesome. They're pretty cheap. They're pretty inexpensive. And they work really well as a vocal journal. Get you a vocal journal. And part of your homework tonight, I want you to write down. So in order, 2 tips I shared with you tonight so far on hitting high notes. The first thing is make sure your voice is warm. Warm up those high notes. If you know you're singing high, you better get that voice warm. The second tip is you want to back off of your volume. Okay? That's tip number 2. Write those down. Okay? The third tip I'm going to give you is called it's what we call, just in addition to keeping that lighter volume, we're going to back off and give a little bit of that little, it's a hooty quality. Like when we did when you heard what I did a while ago, instead of going, trying to yell or pull into it, that's very easy to do. So we're going to back off our volume. That's tip number 2, okay? And we're going to start with a little hooty sound. Woo, woo, and then just slide up. Woo, Isn't that easy? Give it a try and put in the comments if that helps you any. Okay, let's do it a couple more times. So just say woo, 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 almost like an owl, but it's not. Whoo, whoo. That's too much airflow. You're not getting that cord closure, that connection that you need. So go woo, like if you were thinking of an owl, but let the H kind of stay in the background. Ooh, ooh. It's not ooh, like ooh, but it's ooh, ooh, ooh. Do it with me a couple more times. Ooh, ooh. You see what's happening there? The voice is starting to, it's starting to flip and get a little bit higher now. So the last note I hit, you might want to call it an accidental, but what we're doing is getting the voice into what we call the whistle register. So that was a high F sharp in the whistle, okay? So next, so write that down, okay? So you're going to go just the hootie, write down the hootie. It's like a ooh, 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 ooh. You hear what I'm doing? And it's so light. It's not a hard sound. Now, we started out with a little hum at the very beginning, just humming, thinking of, like you're contemplating, or you just heard something and you're like, Let's do that a couple more times. Sorry, I hit that note pretty high, that pretty loud. Just hum down. Now we're going to take lip rolls, and we're going to do the octave scale. We're going to go to let's start here. We're going to go. Now notice on the lip roll, it's not a splatty sound, but it's more of a oh. So do a yawn and go oh, bo, 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 bo. That relaxed, we call it a dopey larynx. Bo, bo, bo. Couple more. As you ascend, just think about allowing the voice just to release up in the top. Keep going. And don't pull. Go only as high as you, here's a key, comfortably can. Comfortably can. Awesome. So that's just a nice little lip roll warm up that you can do to get up there in your head voice. So your tips, remember, let's reiterate those and write them down. And I'll look and see if we've got any questions. Okay, so the first one was we're going to back off of our volume, okay? And the number 2 was we were going to, what was the number 2, guys? I'm a blank here. This is terrible, and I didn't write my notes down. The second one is we're doing the hootie. Ooh, 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 ooh. Keeping it super, super, super light, okay? And then, the first one, I'm sorry, was, making sure you've got your voice warmed up. The second one, I'm sorry, I got them all backwards. Making sure your voice is warmed up, that's number 1. The second one is back off your volume. Remember, write this down. This is huge. My mentor, Brett Manning, he taught me, and in all of his vocal coaches and all of his students, light and right is better than strong and wrong. And it really is true. In other words, all it means is if you're pulling, back off your volume and start over. Just a reset. Back off, okay? Then your number 3 is that hootie. Ooh, ooh. And just allow your voice to find those high notes. Don't force them. Don't force high notes. They will come to you. And remember, as always, when you're developing your voice, you want to be sure that you're doing a good, healthy workout routine. You want to make sure you're doing a good and healthy warm-up routine. And if you are interested in discovering more, please message me. You can private message me your email address, and I will put you on my list because we are coming up very, very soon with a workshop, and I'm going to keep you all informed on what's going on. Okay, let me see if I've got any questions. And of course, if you all would like a one-on-one session, I would love to work with you very, very much. Hang on just one second. I don't see any comments. Let me see if I've got any. Hey, Sarah, I see that you're joining in on YouTube. That is so awesome. I love, love, love it. There's Sarah. That is Miss Sarah Martinez. You guys, for those of you who don't know, you probably do, but that's my baby girl. She's my little girl, and she has the most amazing singing voice. Like, oh my gosh, my daughters are so talented. I have to brag on them. I have to brag on my children. They're amazing. And it's not just because they're my children. They really, really do have talent. They have singing talent. So it's so good to see you, Miss Sarah. Okay, so Sarah, you'll have to watch the rerun, okay, to see what all we've been talking about. But Sarah, you also did ask earlier this week, and you left a question. I believe it was on the Instagram page. How many times a week should I warm up? And you guys, anyone who knows me knows that my clients know I'm big on warming up. You got to warm your voice. So if you don't warm up your voice, you're really, really, really cheating yourself. You got to warm that voice up, okay? So take those notes down. But anyway, that warm up is super, super important. And Sarah, to answer your question, you should warm up your voice. You can literally do a vocal warm up 7 days a week. A warm up is exactly that. It's not a workout. It's not a vocal workout. So a warm up is preparing your voice for a workout or for a performance. So you can warm up, and in the morning, if you just have like a sticky voice and it feels really yucky, you can absolutely do a warm up every single day. It's not going to hurt your voice. Now, the second time to do a warm up, if you are warming up, if you're going to work out your voice or if you're going to perform, it's an absolute must that you warm your voice up before you do a workout, a rehearsal, or a vocal exercise, like you're doing vocal lessons. Warm up your voice. I promise you'll get much better results and much better performance out of your voice. Think of your voice as a high maintenance car, like a really super expensive, super high quality race car, okay? And if you put in crappy fuel or you don't put in enough fuel, it's not going to perform well, right? But if you maintain it, you take good care of it, you put great gas in it, you make sure you get your oil changes, you're maintaining it's gonna serve you well. It's gonna just have that giddy up and go. Same thing with a warm-up. A warm-up is gonna prep your voice for the workout. The workout develops your voice over time so that you can have amazing performances and longevity, guys. Just because you don't think you can sing doesn't mean you can't. If you feel like you just love singing with the radio or singing in the shower and you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I could sing, get a hold of me. I want you to DM me, or you can put a message here and we can do a follow-up and give you some more information. And like I said, stay tuned. I would totally love it. I'm going to say one more time. I would love for you guys to give me a thumbs up and follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and here on Facebook. I go live every week for these vocal tips and conversations. This is valuable information I'm providing for you because I really care about you singers. I really, really do. I want to help you. And so I'm going live once a week, every week, and just follow me and you're going to find really, really good information that you can apply into your own singing routine, your own performance routines. And if you would like more, just let me know. You can private message me or comment below in the comments. You can just comment the word more and I will be sure and reach out and get you some more information. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to let me see, Sarah, she put here that she's going to have to be more diligent about her warm-ups. Yeah. Just be sure you don't overdo anything. you can overdo anything. So, and then let me see. We also have great information. Thank you, Sarah. I really appreciate your feedback, hon. I really do. It really helps. I love being online. I love working with people and helping people. So if you have questions, please ask. Okay. Let me see if I have any other questions or comments. I don't know that I do. I think we're just about done. Let's see here. Yeah, see what we have here. So the beautiful and fabulous Miss Sarah. I hope I did get your question answered. Did that answer your question, Sarah? Let me know if it did. Okay. And if anybody else here is live, it doesn't have to be like, if you have a question and it's not on topic, please anyway ask me your question, because I want to make sure that I'm helping people. I want to make sure that I'm answering your questions and getting some information and some vocal tools into your hands so that you don't feel so frustrated on your singing journey. I wish I'd had the information, guys. Like, gosh, if I'd had the internet when I was in my 20s and raising my girls, if I'd had the internet and the tools that are available to singers now and artists that you guys have, and that I have it too, but if I'm just saying, if I had this same information when I was a younger woman, oh my God, not that I'm an old woman, by the way, but if I'd had this, oh my gosh, the difference that it would have made, you guys. Okay. Let me see. Sarah says, great info. Thanks. And she's also saying, yeah, it did help. And I really appreciate your feedback, Sarah. Thank you so much, honey. I really appreciate that. I love you. So let me know if you guys that are watching after the show, let me know if you have any questions. In the meantime, y'all, I want you to know how much I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in, for trusting me with your voice. I hope to see or hear from you soon. And this next week, look for our announcement for our next live this coming week. And I will be talking to you soon. You guys have a fantastic week. In the meantime, please take good care of yourself. Please take good care of yourself. Do something kind for somebody else. Make sure that you drink and eat healthy and take good care of yourself. Stay well, okay? I will talk to you soon. God bless you guys. Love you so much. And I will be talking to you soon. Bye-bye.